tell you something about why I did what I did for so long in network marketing and why I think many women in this space are doing the same thing. See, I wanted to be successful so badly, and not because of greed, but I truly wanted the freedom, flexibility, the income, and the feeling of having built something that mattered. And I believed that the fastest path to that was to get as close as possible to the people who already had it. To learn from them, right? That's what we're told. And do what they did. Follow the system that had worked for them and trust that it would work for me too. What I didn't realize, and nobody told me, was that in doing that, I was slowly handing over something I would spend years trying to get back. So today I want to talk about what that actually looks like and what it means to reclaim it. And it doesn't happen all at once. That's the thing. You don't wake up one day and decide to stop being yourself. It happens gradually in small ways that you don't even notice until later. You use the script because it's easier than figuring out what to say on your own. You post the company graphic because it's already made and it looks professional. You say the things that the top earner says because she's successful and you're not, and maybe she knows something you don't. So you show up to the calls, you check the boxes, you duplicate the system, and because you want it to work, because you've invested time and money and hope, you keep going even when something feels off. Even when the words coming out of your mouth don't quite sound like you. Even when you catch yourself saying things that you'd never say in a normal conversation with a friend. And I blindly followed that until I couldn't any longer. And when I finally stopped and admitted to myself that none of it had ever really felt like me, I had to reckon with something uncomfortable. I wasn't just tired of the tactics. I had lost who I actually was outside of someone else's duplication system. And if you've ever felt that quiet disconnect in your business, like the sense that the words you're using aren't really yours, that the version of you showing up online isn't real, that's not a personality flaw. That's what happens when you follow someone else's system long enough that you forget that you were allowed to have your own. And I've been thinking a lot about the word reclamation. And I want to introduce it today because I think it's the most honest name for what I'm actually teaching. Reclamation isn't a strategy or a framework or a funnel content plan. It's the thing underneath all of those. And it means getting back to getting what was yours before you were told to hand it over. Your voice, your platform, your audience, your sense of who you are. And here's what I want to say about reclaiming it. It's scary. Stepping up as a business owner in your own right, not as a rep or a distributor, means taking all the responsibility, all the blame when it doesn't work, all the uncertainty of doing something that doesn't have a proven script attached to it. But it's also the most empowering thing I've ever done because it's built on an idea that's true to me and me alone. And nobody can take that away. Nobody can duplicate it. Nobody can tell me I'm doing it wrong because there is no wrong. There's just my version, my voice, my vision. So reclamation is not about blowing up what you've built or walking away from the business that you're in. That's not what I'm saying. It is about deciding, maybe for the first time, that you are the authority, not your upline, not the top earner, not the content creator that you've been following for years, but you, and building from that place instead of from borrowed ground. So what does reclamation actually look like in practice? Well, it's creating content that comes from your own perspective instead of your company's talking points. It's content where you feel like yourself and you're not performing, you're not duplicating, you're just saying the thing that you actually think. And it looks like building an audience that follows you specifically, not follows your company or your upline, but you. People who know your name and your face and your ideas and would follow you wherever you went, regardless of what you're selling. It looks like owning the infrastructure of your business, your email list, your community, the platform. Things that belong to you and travel with you and don't disappear when a company changes its comp plan or the platform changes its algorithm. And it looks like knowing your why so clearly that you don't need anyone else's system to tell you what to do next, because you're building towards something specific and real that belongs entirely to you. Now, I'm still in this process. Want to be honest about that. Reclamation isn't a destination that you arrive at. It's something you keep choosing. And some days it feels clear, and sometimes it still feels scary. But every day that I choose it, I feel more like myself than I did the day before. And you don't have to have it all figured out to start reclaiming. You just have to make one decision that from here on out, you're building something that belongs to you, with your voice, on your platform, with your audience and your ideas. And then you keep making that decision every single day. So here's what I want you to consider after this video. You didn't lose your voice, you were talked out of it, gradually by systems and scripts and the human desire to be close to the people who had what you wanted. And you can get it back. Might not all be at once, won't be without discomfort, but one decision at a time, one piece of content that sounds genuinely like you at a time, that's reclamation. And it's available to you right now exactly as you are. If you want to know more where your gaps are, like where you're still building on borrowed ground, what to reclaim first, the Authority Audit will show you that. And it walks you through your lane, message, assets, and visibility, tells you specifically where to focus first. You can find the link in the description. And if you found this helpful, I would love it if you'd subscribe. I put out 2 new videos every week on how to become a true business CEO and not just a rep. And I'll see you next time.